Welcome everyone, this is Vye Brante, and I'm here making a video. I haven't made a video in a really long time, and well, I mean, if you want to call it a video, it's going on YouTube, and more than likely we'll have some kind of text in the video. So when actually, anyways, yeah, it's been a while since I've made any kind of video, so I thought I wanted to do something, and here's kind of what I thought I saw someone else. I know I'm not very original. Okay, let's see if I can get my train of thought. I'm just gonna do this all off the cuff here anyway, but I saw someone else do this on their YouTube channel, and I was basically what they did was they had found a copy of a old Pokemon story they had written when they were young, and they read, pieces of it, and it got me thinking about mine versions. I was like, I wonder if I still have those, and sure enough, I have some of the files of my old Pokemon stories. I opened up the very first one. It was pretty magical. Yeah, it was kind of like really, there are no words. It really was just kind of like, how did I write this ever? And I can't even say I was in 3rd grade or whatever, like some people. No, I was in high school. Well, I maybe junior high, but still so bad. And so, yeah, there was something about Spyro had a special Pokeball, and Team Rocket showed up randomly at the end for no purpose whatsoever. Hillary was such a strong trainer, but it was only because everyone would use a Pokemon, and she would use one that had a type advantage, and it was like, why do we keep losing? It's like, oh my gosh, you're so strong. It's like you're super effective against all of our Pokemon. No duh. So, yeah, it was pretty amazing. Anyway, so what I thought I would do, and I kind of apologize for the quality if it's not very good, because I have the microphone right up by my mouth, so I'm sure I'm breathing into it, and I don't know how the volume settings are going to work, but basically what I'm going to do is I opened up the second file, and I looked at the first few lines, because it pops up right away, and I'm going to read some of it, and I think this is actually one that I've completed. Just kind of some background in these Pokemon stories I wrote all these years ago. I started, let's see, I started writing them in junior high. And I kind of would be I don't know, unfocused. I'd start one story and be like, I want to write this other one. Start that other one. And I'd go back to them, and I had like 40 plus files, and 1,000 pages or so of different bits and pieces of these Pokemon fan fictions, and some of them got finished, some of them didn't, most of them didn't. I think there's only, well, I don't know how many, but there was several that had actually finished. But yeah, they were not in order, so they kind of jumped around in my timeline all over the place. It was just kind of whatever I felt like I wanted to write at that point is what I wrote. So, yeah. So I thought I'd go ahead and read some of it, and even it's finished, but I think, let me see how many pages it is, and it's like, oh my heavens, there's pictures in here. At least I didn't draw them. This is when I was drawing, or it's still pictures from online to insert into my stories. Okay, this is 17 pages. Because it goes into the next story right after. So this one is 17 pages. That would take me quite a while to read. So I'm only gonna go I don't know. I'll go for a little while and see what's a good breaking point. And then if people really want to hear more, maybe I'll finish it. But yeah, this might be pretty painful for me. Because as bad as, like, I can poke holes in more stories right now. Just imagine how bad they were back then. Let me get comfortable here. I'm on my bed, so sorry if I'm creaking. Like I said, I'm just kind of doing this live-ish. Not even like gonna take breaks. But when I'm reading, I might, make side comments and go off track a little bit. Just heads up, I tend to do that, and so I might have to, if I need to explain anything for context, as I'm sure that'll be something that will be a problem. But basically, background, if you're a reader of Just Gotta, which I'm assuming that's why you're here, because I'm going to link to it from my site. But if you're a reader of Just Gotta, you know Hillary was pulled into the Pokemon world and goes on this journey and blah, blah, blah. Back in the old days, when it started, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, but Hillary was pulled into the Pokemon world, and in order to go back, she had to catch 150 Pokemon. And so this is somewhere on her journey, this particular one. And back then I kind of more followed the storylines of the games. And so this is actually an event from the games. This is from Saffron City. When in this case, Hillary goes to Silphco and fights Team Rocket. So yeah, and I even have like a little paragraph that's a preview of the story, so it's just gonna be so amazing. Alright, here we go. And so I'm not sure, I think back then I considered this particular one of my better ones, and so we'll see how better it actually is. And hopefully I'm actually, honestly, like, part of me is like, I hope it's not really bad, because it would be really embarrassing. Like, I thought about even doing this on the first one, but when I was looking through, I was like, no way, no one could ever see this. This is so bad. So part of me is like, I don't want it to be that bad, but at the same time, if it's not bad at all, well, it's gonna be bad. But if it's not bad enough, then it has no entertainment value. So this is pointless. So I guess I'll just read and then we'll see. Alright, so we'll start out. I don't have a good reading voice. I can act. Okay, so here's a little preview. I'll give you that, because it'll be so amazing. Team Rocket has taken over the Silphco building, and I'm assuming I'm saying Sylph, and I'm hoping it's supposed to be Co. Anyway. Hillary arrives in Saffron City and goes to set Silphco free. She battles Rocket member after Rocket member to get to the top floor where Giovanni awaits. Officer Jenny wants Hillary to leave, but Hillary knows she can't. Okay. Then Hillary reaches the top floor and faces Giovanni. Oh, way to spoil it already. He makes her a deal. If she can beat him, he and his followers will leave. But if she loses, she has to join Team Rocket. Dun dun dun. Does Giovanni know something Hillary doesn't? Okay. The freedom of both Hillary and Silphco is at stake. Dun dun dun. So dramatic. Okay, so it's called Trouble at Silphco. So amazing already. This is good. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be painful for me. I'm gonna try not to lose control here. Okay. The wind blew hard. I hope I said that right. I'm gonna say it again because like I said, I don't read good. The wind blew hard. Dark storm clouds had gathered in the once blue sky. A storm could strike at any moment. Hillary continued down the path. Her short brown hair swirled around. She held her arm in front of her face. Pikachu led the way. Side note, this is before Boltz had a name. So he's just Pikachu. And he's nothing like Boltz. So I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, It was having a hard time staying on the ground. It clenched its teeth with the effort. Spyro followed close behind Hillary. He was ducking his head down. "We need to find some shelter," Hillary said. "Charmeleon," Spyro said. Apparently he's a Charmeleon. "Pika Pika," Pikachu grunted with every step. A gust of wind blew Pikachu into the air. That's some pretty good wind. Oh my gosh, it screamed. That's going to be like the hardest part for me, is reading sound effects. Hillary caught it in midair. "Pikachu," it said thankfully. "Are you okay, Pikachu?" Hillary asked. It gasped for breath and nodded. It started to rain, just sprinkles at first, but then it turned into a downpour of major proportions. Oh, good. This is just not how I write nowadays, so... "Spyro," Hillary commanded while she held up his Pokeball. "You better get back into your ball." Spyro nodded. "Char," he said. In a flash of red light, Spyro was safe inside his Pokeball. Hillary held Pikachu tightly. "Let's go," she said. I'm guessing that Pikachu refused to go into its Pokeball, because that's what all Pikachus do, don't you know? They continued through the rain. The wind seemed to blow even harder. They were getting soaked and cold. "We have to get out of this," Hillary said. Didn't you already say that? Pikachu agreed. Hillary held her arm over her eyes so she could see. Okay. Because if you hold your arm in front of your eyes, you'll definitely be able to see. There wasn't anywhere they could go. Hillary began to run. It was hard against the wind, but she had to find shelter. She looked around as she ran. Then she saw it. It was a tall building. She ran toward it. She saw other buildings. Hillary ran faster. The wind and the rain pounded against her. She held Pikachu close. It was shivering. Its eyes were shut. She entered the town. Most of the buildings were locked up tight. Nobody was out. In this weather, it was no surprise. She couldn't find the Pokemon Center, so she ran into the tall building she saw earlier to see if she could get some directions. It was dark inside. Nobody was around. She put Pikachu down. It shook all the water out of its fur. Hillary brushed some of the water off of her sleeves. She shivered. She was soaked to the bone. Pikachu shivered too. It jumped onto her shoulder. "What is this place?" Hillary asked. She looked around. There was a secretary desk and pictures on the walls. Okay. There were a lot of fake trees scattered across the room. Okay. A small pool was in the center of the room. It was probably a fountain, although it wasn't working. Pikachu said. Okay. Just randomly talk. It was an office building of some sort. I wonder how they came to that conclusion. What they did there, Hillary wasn't sure. But you're sure it's an office building, at least. Got that going for you. There was a light. It shone on some stairs. She heard voices up them. "Should we go up there?" Hillary asked. Pikachu said with a shrug. She cautiously stepped up the stairs. She had to at least find out where she was. She had an idea, but ... Okay. The voices got louder. Some of the voices seemed scared. Sometimes she could hear screams. That's a good sign. You should definitely keep going towards them. The other voices were forceful and loud. Hillary couldn't tell what they were saying, but she could tell what the voices were feeling. That's special, indeed. She reached the top of the stairs. She headed toward the voices. Pikachu seemed a bit nervous. This is probably a lot more amusing to me than it is to anyone else. The lights are on, Hillary whispered, but no one's around. "Chew," Pikachu said sadly. The voices got steadily louder. Man, how could you hear them all the way downstairs? You have to walk forever to get to them. She turned a corner. The voices stopped. Hillary stopped too. Where was she supposed to go now? She looked around. Several doors lined the hall. Suddenly, a door crashed down. A man was on top of it. He was wearing a blue business suit. He had black hair. Hillary was about to approach him to see if he was all right. "Please don't hurt me," he screamed. Hillary stopped moving towards him. Pikachu tilted his head, puzzled. The man had his arms in front of his face. His eyes were clenched shut. He hadn't even noticed Hillary. "Don't worry," a rough, cruel voice said. "We won't hurt you. Much." Hillary couldn't see who it was. They were still inside the room. "Leave him alone," another voice cried. It was a woman. She seemed frightened. "Stay out of this, lady," the voice ordered. "Are you going to cooperate now?" another cruel voice asked. "Or does Eradicate have to do that again?" Eradicate jumped out of the room. It stood in front of the man. He was quivering with fear. "Eradicate," the Eradicate said. "Please," the man begged. "I'll do anything. Please don't hurt me." "Wise choice," the rough voice said. Two men stepped out of the room. They were wearing black Team Rocket uniforms. One of the men turned and looked into the room. "Anyone else have any objections?" he asked. I lost my spot, sorry. The man was still on the floor, quivering. Okay. "No," all the people in the room said. "How do they know it's all of them?" Hillary watched, confused. She was too puzzled and a little scared to do anything. But he still came up the stairs. She went unnoticed until one of the Team Rocket members saw her. "Hey," he yelled, "what are you doing here?" The other Team Rocket member turned and saw her too. The Eradicate glared at her. The man on the floor just noticed her also. "You're so stuck on that man on the floor." Hillary was surprised. "You're out in the open. They were going to notice you." Well," she began. "Eradicate," the Eradicate yelled. Hillary stepped back. Pikachu jumped down and hid behind her legs. We're at 16 minutes. Okay. I might just have to go to the end of this scene. If it ever ends. "This isn't a place for kids," the other Team Rocket member shouted. "Get out of here," the other man ordered. "But," Hillary started. "No buts," the man yelled. "Get her, Eradicate," the other commanded. The Eradicate ran towards her, its teeth bared. I think that's the wrong bared. Side note. Hillary stepped back again. Pikachu emerged from behind her legs. "Pikachu!" it shouted. Lightning bolts shot out from its body. They hit the Eradicate. The Eradicate stood still for a moment, then fell to the ground with a thud. Thump. Sorry. Didn't want to confuse you there. It's thump. "Why, you little..." the man started to yell. He reached for a Pokeball. Hillary didn't wait for him to finish. She ran towards the stairs. Pikachu and the men followed. She went down the stairs and headed towards the door. Hillary ran back outside into the rain. "Don't you ever come back," one of them yelled. "Yeah. Because if you see a witness fleeing, you should just let the witness go and just tell him not to come back. That'll be all right." She continued running. She splashed through the puddles. Then she stopped. She leaned over and held her knees. Pikachu was at her side. They panted for breath. "Well," Hillary gasped, "that was interesting." Pikachu panted weakly. Hillary looked around. It was still raining and blowing hard. "Hey there," a voice yelled. Hillary looked towards it. It was Nurse Joy. She was standing by an open door. She was about 2 blocks down the road. Wow! That was quite the yell. "Come inside," she shouted. "You'll catch your breath out. You catch your breath out there. You'll catch your death out there." Hillary and Pikachu ran toward her. They ran inside the Pokemon Center. So it was just down the road and they couldn't find it. They were diligent with that search. "What were you doing out there in a storm like this?" Nurse Joy asked, shutting the door. "What were you doing looking for people out in a storm like that?" "Well," Hillary said, squeezing some of the water out of her hair, "you see, we just got into town." "Oh," Joy said. "Then welcome to Saffron City." "Saffron City?" Hillary asked. "Yes," Nurse Joy said. She was about to say something else when Hillary interrupted. "Is that big building out there Silph.Co?" she asked. "Yes," Joyce said, a little surprised. "That's the famous Silph.Co." Why are you so surprised? "They have been working on something big, but no one has gone in or out of there in days." "Really?" Hillary asked thoughtfully. "Now then," Nurse Joy asked tenderly, "would you like something to eat?" Hillary's stomach growled. That was on cue. So did Pikachu's. "Pika," it moaned. Some food would be nice, Hillary answered. And let's see, that was about 3¼ pages, and it took me, well, I was rambling for about 6-7 minutes, so about 13 minutes to get through that. I think that'll probably be good enough. I guess if it'll at least be a good intro if we want me to keep doing these. So yeah, let me know if this was any fun, if you want me to continue, if you're just on the edge of your seat wondering what happens. If it's just, you just have to know. Let me know and I can, do a part 2 to this and see what we'll want to do. So yeah, if you want me to do another part, I'll do it. So let me know. Either comment below or, like I said, I'm assuming I'm linking to this on the site, so you can also leave me a comment over there if that's easier. So yeah, hope this was fun. Hope you'll join me next time if I do another. And I don't know how to end these, so bye.